live blogger.
And we're live again. I'm sorry we keep experiencing internet difficulty, but I think we should keep staying online now. So, anyways, tour space travel. Where's that going to take us? I mean, think about that. What if we actually built, like a tourist attraction on the moon? We built a house.
That would be awesome.
We built a city on the moon. We could build a dome and put lots of, I mean, that would be really interesting. That would be a huge industry if we could do it. Of course, we'd have to find a way to have oxygen up there, and that might be an issue. We'd need food. We'd need all kinds of things.
Try to make our own plants like they did on The Martian. It's not that simple.
That would be really cool. But anyways, let's dive into today's experiment.
Okay,
so
let's get
first, kids, again, do not try this at home. This is a very dangerous experiment because we have a very flammable substance. This is Spectracide Stump Remover. It is 100% potassium nitrate, which is an ingredient in gunpowder, which is why I have an electric heating plate here so that we don't, we're going to have to heat it up and mix it with this sugar. This sugar serves as the oxidizer. We have 40% oxidizer, so we have 80 grams of sugar here in this cup, just regular table sugar, and we're going to need 120 grams or 60% potassium nitrate.
So a lot of potassium nitrate.
I'll plug in my scale here.
If it wasn't for this sugar, this potassium nitrate, once we light it, boom, it's over. I mean, you would have like an explosion. You could see that probably from like 2,000 feet away.
So yeah. Anyways, what we're going to do here, we're going to take one of these plastic cups, and we're going to take this potassium nitrate.
Okay.
And we're going to measure out, oh, well, let's zero out our cup first. And we're going to need, oh, this might be time to put on our safety goggles and our masks here.
Okay.
So this substance is not one that you want to breathe in or get into your blood. It is also not one that you want to swallow, obviously. So
it doesn't taste good, trust me.
So let's add some. We're going to need 120 grams of this stuff. So we already have too much.
To make it just exact or else.
It's a substance that you really don't want to play with, which is, again, why I am saying this is not something that anyone should be toying around with. Obviously, I'm spilling it. That is not something you want to do.
Make sure that no one cough, okay?
So we're going to have some excess cup there because we went over our weight. So we only need to take out 2 more grams of this stuff. And, oh, that's the wrong cup. Well, besides, I got extra cups for this particular reason. So we are at 115.8 grams. We're going to need to add a few more. We want this to be, 15, like I said, no, I went over again. So we're going to need to be, it doesn't have to be quite exact, but we want it to be quite near that 60-40 ratio, just because that is the best fuel to oxidizer. In our case, sugar is the oxidizer, serving as, well, oxygen, because it is a hydrocarbon, which means it has oxygen in it, allowing it to act as an oxidizer in our case. So we'll add a little bit more here, and we should be about 120.
Perfect.
So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to mix this with our sugar. And so let's put this in there, and we're going to really want to mix that. We really want to get them mixed together, because the idea is that we really keep it mixed. As long as we keep it mixed, they will keep a very balanced ratio, which will allow us to have the best experience with our model rocket that we will have. As you can see, our rocket body is only going to be paper tubes, and then we're going to put this clay in there to serve as our nose cone, I guess. Yeah, so let's make sure we can mix them together. It's too bad that they are both white. It's kind of hard to tell.
No problem. You should have dyed it. Oh well. In any case, now with this pretty much mixed up.
So we're going to need to unplug my scale here and plug back in my electric heating plate. The reason being that you want to use an electric heating plate is because we want no spark. We want no flame, because this stuff can blow up in our face. which is why we want to use sugar as an oxidizer so that it burns instead of blowing up. So we might be about good here when it comes to mixing. So we're going to need to mix some more.
Now be very careful. This pan is extremely hot. I mean, seriously. This, if you touch it, it will burn you.
So what we actually want is we want our sugar to melt a little bit. Those of you who might have made a flan before might know that the sugar does actually kind of caramelize. And so that's kind of what we want to happen here. Is so we're going to keep this sugar warming up until it starts to
turn into caramel.
So
that's how you make caramel at home.
So yes, caramel, of course, you're going to need to add a little bit more than just the sugar. But yeah, I mean, this is the essence of how you make caramel.
Fun fact.
So yeah, I think it's going to need to warm up for quite a while before it's going to start caramelizing. But I can already see it like sticking to the bottom of the pan here.
It's starting.
So, yeah, got to keep mixing this stuff and keep making sure that it, yeah. I can't even see here. I'm going to step back for a moment and get my glasses a little bit defogged here, as they are fogging up. But be honest, I don't know how long this is going to take for this stuff, but I guess we can think a little more. So, it's potassium nitrate. They call this stuff rocket candy. You can look it up and find out how some other people have added some other materials to it. But again, I do not advise you to conduct this experiment yourself unless you have a qualified adult to serve, to do it with you, or to essentially do the experiment so that you can watch.
And especially even if you're an adult, my friends, do not try this if you guys don't know what you're doing, because you will literally blow yourself up, and you do not want to do that.
So, I mean, you know, my chemistry teacher always said, don't ever do an experiment that you don't think you know what's going to happen. So, that's the idea here.
Exactly. Now, back to the whole Elon Musk thing. The idea would be that it could be, this space tourism would be probably it would make front page headlines for years and years. I mean, this would be something everyone all over the world would want to do. And actually, talking of Elon Musk and industry, Jer Bear mugs, if you're interested, it's worth it.
Yes. So do stay tuned. We have some delicious water here.
The best water from Jer Bear.
So the water isn't my brand, but you can get the Jer Bear mugs on sale at the Jer Bear merchandise website. So I do see the sugar is starting to melt a little bit here.
It's starting.
And it's starting to clump together, which is what we want to see. Those of you, can you smell it? Can you smell that? You can smell the caramelizing.
Oh yeah, that's way better than before.
So this is starting to clump together, which is what we want. Let me see here. I gotta grab another spoon I have. But we want to make sure that we keep the stuff together. The reason I'm not using, of course, plastic spoon I don't want the plastic to melt, but yes, you can smell that, can't you? You can smell the sugar starting to caramelize.
Oh, it smells just like caramel. Actually, this is very good. I would do it if I were you.
But yeah, it's delicious smell, but this is not something you want to eat. Again, we're wearing the masks for a reason. It is not a substance that you want to play with. We are definitely not going to light this off in the house.
Oh no.
It's going to be crazy. To be honest, I should be doing this outside, regardless. But yeah, so we can see the sugar caramelizing, and we're going to put this in one of our things. So could you keep stirring this?
Oh, sounds good.
And here's those. And I am going to get started on, and again, my apologies for the bad stream connection here.
Whoa.
So, anyways, what we're going to need is we're going to need some of this stuff. This is actually, I can show you, It is. It's like kitty litter. But this is. It's essentially the same thing except it has no scent. It's more for cleaning up spills, but it's the same stuff. It's clay.
And it's not edible. Don't eat it. Trust me.
Do not eat it. So we're going to get some of this stuff wet here. And so what it's going to do is it's going to clump together a little bit, which is what we want to happen.
Whoa.
I'm going to put a cup in here just to kind of... Oh, it's still falling in my sink, of course. But we want this stuff to clump together. And so I'm going to grab... Oh, that's perfect consistency.
Mr.
So
Jerry.
let's turn... Oh, dear. Did you melt some of the plastic in there? That is why we don't... I know you weren't supposed to start with this.
That was my bad.
Okay.
Don't use plastic because now it's...
No. Okay, well, that's fine.
At least now we know we're not going to eat it, for sure.
Definitely not. Not too much of the plastic went in there. So this is the consistency that we're looking for, so we can turn that off for now. You can hold that up. So we're going to put some of this clay, and I'm going to try and hammer it down into one of these tubes. So I am going to move my scale out of the way here, and I'll grab a pan that I don't want anymore, of course. I don't want this pan anymore either. So I'm going to put some of this clay down inside of the little toilet paper tube here. And so I don't want all of it, but I'm going to grab some of it to put some in the tube so that it's not completely full. We just want to have a little bit at the bottom so that it'll that's still a good consistency there. We might want to add a little bit more of each substance, so I'll put a little bit more potassium nitrate in there. And I'll grab a little bit more sugar that we can put in there to mix in. Because it is not quite a thick enough consistency. So if you could keep stirring that around, guess I'll put a little bit more of this in there. This is not the way that I would advise doing it.
Don't do it.
Because we need to have a balance of oxidizer and potassium nitrate.
Look at that evil laugh coming up.
But yeah, so like I said, we needed to have those right ratios. But I'm going to hammer down some of this clay inside of here so that it kind of sticks inside of my little tube, as it kind of is doing. The trouble being that you really want to pack it down a lot. So I'll be right back. See if I can find it.
Sorry, just had to do that. This actually does smell very good, but it is not edible, even though it looks very edible. Yeah.
So I'm going to hammer this down with a hammer. I'm not going to use the right side. So we really need to pack down this clay inside of our little tube here.
And this right here, what I'm making, is basically going to be our rocket fuel.
Yes. Well, it appears that our little rocket has
become a
broken on us, which is why we are going to use, which is why I grabbed another one just for the occasion. So, yeah, see, there's the consistency that I'm wanting. I only really want the sediment from inside of this clay, but, I mean, as an effect, we get all of it anyway, as I was saying. So, but yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but that's the way it turned out. But this stuff is, it's not bad. Of course, again, you really shouldn't use toilet paper rolls, but that was just kind of what I decided to use here. It's not the best idea, but it works okay. It just kind of depends. I really want to get like a nice sedimentary consistency out of this.
We're getting there.
That's starting to be a better consistency, which is good. This will harden up a little bit more once it cools off. So here, that's probably pretty hot. Yeah, it still is. Essentially, what this is going to do is make sure that the potassium nitrate does not fire out in the wrong direction.
That means towards us. Or the ground. Other way.
In that case. We want it to go towards the ground, right? So.
You have to choose one or the other.
So in this case, I'm going to grab my hammer back here again. And I'm going to hammer down again in this tube. I guess, you know what I should have done is I should have taken some tape to put on the end, which is actually what I'm going to do now. So I'll grab some tape and we'll put that on the end. Again, this isn't the best way to do it, but this is just the way that I decided to do it. So we're going to grab some tape and we're just going to kind of wrap it around. Of course, it's already a wet surface, which doesn't really assist us too well, but hopefully this works. It's, you know, I'm not the first one who's done this. You can look, just look up rocket candy, and you'll see lots of other people have done this same experiment. It's always a messy one, which is, to be honest, I'm surprised we don't have more of a mess in here. But this is gonna be fun to light off.
Oh yes,
it's gonna be.
We're gonna show Kim Jong-un who's boss.
I mean, this isn't gonna go that far, but
still. Yeah.
I would be worried about that if North Koreans had access to the internet, but they don't. So that is why it's not the place you want to go.
No, don't. I mean, they do have a pretty nice capital, but that's about it.
That's true. Their capital looks very nice, which is funny because they're not capitalists, because that's probably where all the money in the country went. Because they don't make any money, because they don't have any foreign trade. And that's the biggest problem with North Korea.
Except for Syria.
You know, and I mean, you know, the U.S. should be more fine with communism because it's just an economic system. It's the trouble that comes along with it that's an issue. So that should be a more solid consistency than it was.
Easy there, buddy.
Is it?
You know what they say, better dead than red.
That's very true. For those of you who don't know, red is what they used to call communists back in the day of the Cold War, which was an unfortunate time in history. So we should be about ready to put our rocket fuel into the tube here.
Okay.
So
time for the danger to
this
start.
is time for the danger to start. This stuff is probably still pretty hot, but it's probably not going to melt my fork this time anymore.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom.
So the trouble being, this is actually a little bit too cold for us to deal with. It does solidify, and trouble being, once it is solidified, it is hard to work with. But this is the consistency that we want it to be once inside our little rocket there. So, yeah. Looks like we did our experiment correctly, regardless of maybe a little bit of plastic in the mix.
Yeah.
It happens. So we'll scrape out the remains of this stuff here. This is still a very hot pan.
So don't touch it.
I wish I had a handle on it, but that is part of the reason I'm using this pan for this, is because I don't have a handle on it. It's a pan that we don't need anymore. Because this, again, you would not want to eat out of something that was made in this pan again, because this is a toxic substance. It is a stump remover, so it kills things, obviously. So you don't want it to be on your end of killing. So,
which is why we're probably not gonna be able to drink all of the water from the bugs. I'm afraid that some of the chemicals might have
exposed to the air, which is a problem. Yeah.
So right here I'm fake drinking from the Jibber mug. Wake up, universe. Good deal. Look it up.
So we are actually going to put a fuse in this thing, and we're just going to use an average fireworks launcher to, a mortar launcher to launch this thing out. So we're going to carry this out into my yard in just a second, and we're going to see what this thing can do. Again, hopefully the quality won't be too bad out there, because it is even further from my internet connection. So. So we'll load the last of this stuff in there. So we probably could have used a little bit more of the stuff. So next time I make a batch, if we just happen to do this again, we will make some more. We'll probably make twice as much. So we're going to want to pack this down a tad, and then we'll stick a fuse in it. So again, this is even the part that I really would not recommend, is making a rocket out of it, which is what we are going to do. So this probably won't, we'll see how well this works. Because of the consistency and I couldn't pour it in too well, it might not be to the best standard, but we'll pack it down a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our fuse here, and we're going to cut it. Unfortunately, that is actually the one thing I don't think I have, is something to cut it with. So I'll be right back at you.
I'll continue talking. Don't worry, I'm here. Nope, still toxic. Wait. Yep, still toxic. Still toxic. If you guys are interested, safety fuse.
So, we're going to take out this fuse. This can be bought at, actually I got this at our local fireworks store. So can be found at Phantom Fireworks.
Just a shout out, good fireworks. Oh, and
viewer discretion advised. This is gonna be a pretty dangerous one. So let's find the end of our fuse here. And so we'll take some, and we just kind of want to stick it in there a little bit and make sure that it's going to stay.
And also just remember, this fuse is made in China, which means it'll probably work.
That is definitely true, right? See, it's really unfortunate that a lot of these things are made cheaply. Hopefully the fuse will be just fine. I'm going to leave this on so that maybe we can melt some more of this stuff and make it easier to clean. But so now this is a part of the episode where we are going to go outside and burn some stuff.
Let's do this.
So we can take those off, but we'll leave on our safety goggles. And so, yeah. So we're going to carry out. Sorry for this little part of the footage, which is going to look a little bad, but let's finish this off. Let's go have some fun lighting off this baby, which we'll see if it wants to work for us. So, yeah. So, I'll be right back at you once we get back outside.
And we are on the move. Now we're in business.
Careful not to trip on the cord.
Yep. Walking up the stairs. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
Oh, the pan. That's all right. Here. There. With your other hand.
don't worry. Just the technology. You may catch anything out here. Easy there. Whoop. Moving out.
Okay. So. Make sure everything's out. Extends. Okay. We're good. Here, extend the pod. Okay, everyone, so this is going to be an interesting part of the episode. We're going to see whether our crazy little experiment decides to work. So I have a standard 2-inch mortar here, which I've taped a little bit of PVC pipe to. We're going to stick a thing in there. So
let's see this work. Want to make sure that we don't hit the car because, yeah.
Okay, stop there. Okay, everyone, so viewer discretion advised, don't do this. We have a fuse stuck in the end of this thing, so let's go light it. It seems to be quite solid. It needs to be more pasty than anything else. I can see our chunks of plastic in there, but it's time to see whether this experiment works or not, so.
Let's see this baby blow up. You don't want to. Things naturally occur. I don't want to land this on my roof.
Sebastian, I would. No, like.
Okay, get down.
It's not gonna make a big noise.
And that, kids, is how you make a rocket.
That, kids, is how you don't make a rocket. Because obviously it fell on the ground and started burning. Which is why if I were to do this in a more professional manner, I would probably use some more higher grade materials. So, yeah. So, those of you who've watched the show, it's time for today's cash craze.
Bum, bum, bum. We can do it outside. Heavy duty stuff.
Probably still pretty hot.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Cash craze isn't working.
We talk.
We might eat too little.
No.
Cheer bear.
No.
As you can see right here, this is what is left of our little rocket. Never mind.
So unfortunately, we're having a little trouble with the cash craze intro here. We'll get on that in just a second. So.
They always yell at the exact same perfect time.
So,
Working on technology as usual. I think we can take these off unless, of course, the gas that we've just sent into the neighborhood is pretty poisonous, which then, oh well. But we're alive, we're good. Yeah, we're kicking. Yeah, it's nice day outside. Go outside. Go play around. It's cool. This is what you would not do if there was something in here.
okay, everyone. So, anyways, for today's Cash Craze, we don't have the whiteboard, but I figured instead of giving you the specific statistics of everyone lately, to tell you that Bitcoin, actually, let's look at Bitcoin stock right now.
I will model the Bitcoin stock with my hands, so watch closely.
Well, current.
We'll tell you right now which stocks you should invest in if you guys are into Bitcoin, which some people say is amazing, some people say is complete trash, so you gotta be careful. But at the same time, it is a new industry. Online money.
So, just as I told you guys not too long ago, Bitcoin was going up, but it was gonna drop. So I was telling you to buy, and then it was about to sell. Now, just as the graph we have shown here, Bitcoin stock did in fact fall, just like I said it would. So, anyways, the idea behind this, again, so we can see that Bitcoin stock is going slow, but it's going up. So it's probably going to hit a plateau, and then it's going to stop. So it is time to buy your Bitcoin, everyone. Yeah, so it's time to buy the Bitcoin, but it's also time to start thinking about investing in, guess what? You know it. It's going to be a while before we have to start thinking about this, but you should start thinking about investing in companies like Spacex. They are experiencing quite an area where they're going to be going forward. So anyways, yeah, it's time to spin the wheel
Of technicality.
Okay, everyone.
Best times of the show. The wheel.
The best time of the show. Okay, then.
Where what went up, 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 up.
Conspiracality.
Another conspiracality. A conspiracy.
I know, it happened just last week, too.
Coincidence?
So,
Coincidence? I think
well, our job is to say that I think not, right? So, anyways, today's conspiracy, the Earth is flat.
is the Earth flat, my friends?
Now,
you guys...
let me give you something. We've been talking about rockets today. If the Earth was flat, tell me, how can a rocket orbit something? How have we orbited the Earth? How does the space station orbit the Earth? I mean,
It doesn't.
like satellites, for example, all of your phones, if you have a cell phone, cell phones work on the basis of satellites. Satellites orbit Earth.
Exactly.
And
GPS.
so the signal sends up to the satellite and then sends back to your caller and back in the opposite direction. So obviously the Earth isn't flat because gravity is keeping those things in orbit, allowing cell phones to exist. So there you go, everyone. Hope you did enjoy this episode of Wake Up Universe.
The Earth is flat. It
So please do actually send us some links to the Jer Bear fan mail, which of course is in the description. Send to the Jer Bear fan mail some episodes, and we have some live viewers here. So that is his car in the background, and he was our cameraman for today.
Oh yeah.
Just as well, all these gentlemen have helped me carry the stuff up the stairs, so thank them. Thank you to our crew. They won't be our crew every time. They are today, though. So, anyways, if you want to send us an episode, a little clip, so what I ask that you send is anyone can send a clip of themselves saying, "Hi, this is my name, this is where I'm from, and this is my win face." And so you're gonna have like a picture of yourself making any kind of pose or face you want, and after you make that pose, such as this, after you make said pose, you are going to say, and it's time to spin the wheel of technicality. And so you're going to say, hi, like for example me. Hi, I'm Jer Bear, and I'm from something, Michigan. Some city in Michigan. Hi, I'm Jerry, and I'm from Plymouth, Michigan. And this is my win face.